Hello and welcome back to the Eternal Dawn channel. It is I, your captain, Straw Hat Lucas, and today it is just me and my first mate, Mr. Kube. The other boys had some stuff going on today, so yeah, we are ready to talk about 1158 of One Piece, chapter 1158, y'all. Oda has been cooking. Cube, how are you doing today?
Hey man, listen, I'm excited that we're the survivor members who haven't fled to look what happened to Shaki. Why did she turn down the Emperor's role? I know Nak and Vex had to abandon
Yeah, they had
the
to go.
responsibility to find her. So
Exactly.
I'm happy we're the surviving member, and I'm excited for this Helvathian chapter, as always.
Yeah, Vex and Nak both took off the minute that they heard Shaki was on full lead. Surprising no one. I mean, those boys are thirsty. No. All in good fun, guys. But yes, today we're going to be covering chapter 1158 of One Piece, like I said earlier. Rocks versus Herald. This is the official title. I have the official viz pulled up right now. If you're not reading officials, you're crazy. Obviously, you can read the scanlations when they first come out, but then read the officials too. But yes, first up, Cube. Holy crap, what a cover story reveal.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you this now. My theory about the fruit that Xebex was talking about like a couple of chapters ago, one of them could be the Kage. With this, Oda connecting Moria's name, if it's the... For me, honestly, I think it's very indicating that it is our Moria.
Yeah.
The more I think about it. Especially, share to the other people, to the people what you told me about some of the stuff you found out after that cover story.
Well,
some of your research.
So, yeah, I've seen other people pointing this out online as well, so this isn't just my take. I did come to it naturally. Like, I didn't see it from anyone else first, but I'm so glad. I love when other people jump on the same take, because it just means parallel thinking is a good sign, right? But if you look at Moria's name, Gekko Moria, Japanese Gekkou, I believe is the spelling, which is the same katakana as Kozuki, but Gekko is like Kazuki's. I think the katakana is reversed, right? Is what I saw earlier, because I was looking at the actual characters, and I think the katakana is reversed, so it's a proper last name when you say Kazuki. Gekko is almost like an improper name. It's like your name being Lucas, but people calling you Luke or something like that. You know what I mean? Me. But yeah, it's crazy, man. So Gekko means moonlight just as well as Kazuki meaning moonlight. So it's 100% in my eyes that this is the Gekko Moria. The question I have right now is, what was Moria like before that Kaido fight? Because we know Kaido broke his spirit completely. And I believe, personally, especially after finding out he's a Kazuki, who every Kazuki we have seen has a very deep sense of honor, I think Moria probably had that same sense of honor throughout most of his life. He probably wasn't like Odin once Odin stopped being a villain. I think that him and Odin, what I'm getting at here, is I think that Odin and Moria are reversals of each other, right? Odin was a villain at first. I mean, at 3 years old, he was going to brothels and killing mountain gods and everything. And then he changed his life, right? He united the people of Wano. He united the Daimos. And then we have Moria, who came back to Wano with his crew, stood up for his home country, and lost. Broke his will. Entire crew wiped out, and then became a villain. So I'm thinking that there's a potential that Moria was almost more, not heroic. I don't think Moria, excuse me. I don't think Moria was ever heroic, but I think that he had a different will, a different set of ideals, really, before that fight with Kaido.
Yeah, I'm gonna go deeper than that. Is, remember, the reason why the whole reason why Luffy wanted to take out Kaido at the end was if they can take out Kaido, then Orochi can be removed from power. So in a way,
Mm-hmm.
it's right in the ballpark where Moria challenges is when Odin can't do anything because he made a promise.
Exactly.
What if it's Moria's way of finding out about it and
Mhm.
taking care of the contingency plan, which is Kaido?
Yeah,
If you can't get rid of Kaido, if you can get rid of Kaido, Odin doesn't have to follow the promise anymore as well.
exactly.
So there's
And
context of like nobility to his challenge. It's not just like a kid who challenges Shanks for the second time.
yeah,
It's not about ego. It could have been more.
it's wild to me too that with that, like what you're saying. Oh man, I just had something spicy and it just fell out of my head. We were talking about Kazuki's. We were talking. Oh, so I think that Moria, because I've seen some people having a little bit of dissonance towards this, right? Saying, oh, if Moria came to Wano and was a Kazuki, why didn't Odin help him fight Kaido? And Kaido had already made that promise, and like you, damn, sorry, and like you had said, Moria or Odin had already made that promise and deal with Kaido, right? So I think if there is an interaction, I think I said this to you the other day on VC as well. If there is an interaction between Kaido or Odin and Moria when Moria gets to Wano, I think it'll be more of, why aren't you doing anything about this? Odin explains to Moria why he isn't doing anything about it. And then Moria accepts that because he's a Kazuki. He will get it. He'll be like, I understand completely what you're doing. You're trying to save the people of Wano through your own means. I'm going to try my way. Come if you want. Don't stay in my way if not. You know what I mean? I think it'll be a level of respect there. In some
and also,
fashion.
and people who are saying, yeah, well, Odin should have helped, stuff like that. It's a trope that he keeps showing it of certain people who have an innocent heart. King Riku following what Doflamingo asked him to do, and then use that against him. Nami
Exactly.
with Arlong, believing in the worst of people. And the best example is then, and this is something that no one has attacked that person for. That means that it would be hypocrite to attack Odin for this. Is Kuma. He knows what it is to deal with the Gorosei. He has suffered under their hands, and so was gladly able to remove everything for the hope that his daughter would be saved.
Exactly.
It's just hopelessness. So it's something Oda has written in the past. You might not like it, but it's a thing that Oda has used many times. So like attacking Moria for it, I can understand Oda for it, but I think for me it's like then you have to do it for every character, and there's a lot of characters that we love who've done the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Did you see this reveal coming? I didn't. I knew Moria was going to be important. Like you've heard me talk many times, just as I have with you, about Thriller Bark. So I knew Moria was going to be important. But like, did you have any idea he would tie back to the Kazuki?
That no, but as you know, the last few months I kept bringing up the things I saw with Moria and Thriller Bark that were just off, and then the parallels we've been getting with Thriller Bark, and then me very big on the Kage was one of the two fruits that Zebex mentioned. So I knew that Moria, ever since Wano, we've been information about Moria around the world.
Yeah.
Coming to Fuloled, being captured in Fuloled, being
disappearing from Fuloled. We have no idea where he's at right now. Do you remember too, when the Yamato cover story first started, what my two picks for like how it would end was? You remember the two takes I had?
Moria joining the Cross Guild.
No, Cross Guild pulling up, like Buggy being Whitebeard to Roger denying Odin, as in Yamato didn't join the crew, just like Odin joined. Or how did it go? I can't remember. Someone came to Wano and he asked to join their crew first, and they were like,
Whitebeard. Whitebeard refused to take them, and Odin forced himself on the ship.
That's what it was. And I feel like Buggy, he will be in that position with Yamato. Or Moria rolls up to Wano with Thriller Bark. My initial thought was he was going there to get Kaido and Big Mom's bodies. But now he has reason to return. And if a dead hero who people of Wano have been paying respects to for potentially decades now, right? Or actually, for sure, decades now. That more than likely means All right, that's more of a reason to come back to Wano now, right? It's Otis.
Not even that. Think about this. We never knew the reason. Remember when Moria was alluding to his solar bark?
Yeah.
He needed to create his zombie army for a big battle, right?
Yes.
But we never realized that he was having his Kaido PSDSD. It's very safe to assume that I think he was going for round 2, bringing ores with him.
You thought he was getting? So you think he was going to go after Kaido?
Yeah, and it makes sense. Think about it. Let's say that you want to take out. You need the power of the most strongest zombies to take out someone from Wano, right?
Yeah.
Who is the most strongest swordsman of all of Wano? People keep talking about Ryuma. It would also explain why he also took Ryuma. Like there was like maybe a reason behind all of it. It was just random.
It wasn't just random, yeah.
Because he was having those moments where he kept thinking back of his loss with Kaido.
So, do we know when he got Ryuma's body? Because everyone seems to assume that
it was after. He took the body before he left. If I'm not mistaken, I'll go check it right now.
I'll just say I don't know if that's confirmed or not, or if that's just a common take within the theory.
No, because it was remembering Kaido's flashback.
Yeah,
he talks about Ryuma stealing something. So I remember. So wait,
or Moria taking something before he left.
Yeah, because I remember. Yeah, and he kept talking about him as well.
Okay. Well, see, if you could find that panel, I would love that, or something kind of confirming it. Because my thought process is, if they all...
So 23 years ago,
yep.
The Gecko Pirates clashed with the Beast Pirates in Ringo region, during which Moria stole Ryuma's corpse along with Shizu from his grave. So yeah, he did take it 23 years ago.
That day, okay. See, I wasn't sure if Hogback was with him yet. Because for some reason, I thought Hogback joined him after he lost to Kaido. And if that is the case, why would he take Ryuma's body and Shusui then? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it could be that he already had the fruit back then. It's just he needed someone for the zombie aspect of it.
Ooh, I know what Hogback's role was. Because Ryuma's body, right? Ryuma's body is mummified. It was mummified by Tundra. So, wouldn't need much work to sustain. But he needed an endless supply of zombies. Yeah, you're right. He had to have gone after him. Like, he probably could have already put people's shadows into zombies. But they probably were falling apart, not holding up, because you're putting a shadow into a, corpse, basically. Yeah, that's interesting. Interesting.
I mean, my point is as well is like, think about it like this, right? You know how people think that the doctor from the West Blue that Vegapunk was talking about was Hogback, who wrote an article. Then Chopper says, "I read all your medical journal." Then you suddenly disappeared.
Yeah,
it could be that
I do remember this.
What Moria read the same article, and it was something about what Hogback talked about, which was a breakthrough. Think of it similar like that, right? The difference between Judge's clones and Vegapunk's clones is Judge's clones are closer to the pacifistas, no brain cells. But Vegapunk made a discovery that he creates seraphims, those who have free will. Maybe his zombies. Think of Cracker's soldiers, his biscuits. They don't have a free will of their own. They only move when Cracker does it. Maybe his zombies were limited. They were limited. He needed someone to make that, that thing
to make the bodies longer. Like that's why. Yeah, see, that's what I was saying basically is that because of like the rate of like not to be too scientific because it is One Piece, but because of the rate of decay, like maybe he needed Hogback in his research of preserving bodies to kind of come in and help him perfect his already pretty terrifying powers, right?
Yep.
That is spicy. That's spicy right there. So moving past Moria being a Kazuki, which once again, unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. We do see that the Roger Pirates are en route to Shockey's bar, and Roger, like, Kube. Roger being like, what is it that she gave you? And like Rayleigh showed him the love note. He's so mad.
Yeah, she slipped into his DMs.
She slid into his DMs One Piece style. Dude, this was cracking me up. This whole interaction. Roger being a simp is the funniest thing in the world to me. Like, I've seen some people being upset by this and being upset that, like, oh, that just makes him weaker, blah, blah, blah. Nah, it doesn't. It makes him funny. It makes him funny. He's a funnier character now. Roger has cracked me up a couple times in the story, but this, probably the funniest interaction I've ever seen from the Pirate King. He just be like, well, I knew. I want her.
Yeah. No, actually, it's again, I'm telling you, this Sunbelt and Barbell being related is very soon the case. The one person
definitely.
who talked about the Rocks Pirates was Sunbelt again. I'm following his what he says. It's but yeah, that first half I won't lie to you. It gives us OG. What I do like is something that they do not shy away from with the older generation. They're showing that they're not like truly good people as well. At the end of the day, his comment about a pirate's way is pillaging. Pillaging is a true pirate's calling.
I don't know if that's actually him being like a creepy mofo, or if like that's him just being like he's not going to give up yet. You know what I mean? I didn't take it as like a creepy thing as much as I took it as like, this is my goal. I'm still going for my goal thing. Wait,
I'm talking about the mindset.
Oh, the mindset.
I mean, like,
yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. I thought you were talking because he said that about Shocky. I've heard some people getting upset about that. And I was like, I didn't interpret it that way. But I see why people did. Yeah.
Some people brought up that Luffy, who's going to become the next Pirate King, he doesn't have like that. They said Nami's more of a Pirate King in the crew. Yeah, like Nami's the only one who actually focuses on treasure. The other ones just don't care about it. So it's actually good to see that in the older generation, they might still be good people. It's a bit like Odin. He was at the end of the day a hero, but he's done some very like nefarious stuff to other people. Yeah, like his freedom affected other people's freedom. So it's like it's quite good to see with the Roger Pirates that he's not this perfect person, like how Luffy sees Shanks, but there's like you still believe pillaging is a right thing to do when you think about it. Well, not really.
Yo, Sinister in the chat, what up? Shout out.
What up, man?
Sorry, brother. Continue what you're saying.
No. I'm yeah, dude. I think everyone. I mean, there was always that West Blue comment, but everyone thought at least they would have been born from there. So I do understand the sentiment. But yeah, I'm also going back to the chapter. Okay, I want to jump in on the gardening thing because I did some work. And it started from a friend from the community, Sly, who brought it up to me when we first read this quote.
Like, shout out Sly.
What could it be?
Goated member of the community.
So I would not say what he said, but I'll tell you after with that in mind, I did a bit of research, right? There's a lot of similarities to what happened to God Valley to Shandora, an island that was sent to the sky. The reason why I don't take Lucia is because we don't know much later on. But Shandora, we have an after what happens, right? An island that was removed. An island also that was enemies with the Asian king, with the world government for 800 years. 400 years ago it was 400 years. So from there, so it was 800 years now. And we found out that there was the Poneglyph just talked about Poseidon. Now you understand why they got rid of that island. They couldn't have people be able to decipher about Poseidon.
Oh yeah, and
the inversion of Fishman Island, when Nag brought it up many times, it's like Queen Otohime, King Harold. Like we see constantly, Shoshi's found the same way as Loki is, but they're inversion of one another.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that it was all about the origin of Poseidon, but it was also the only place where Uranus was name dropped. And so Sly's original idea, and I'm gonna back him with it. Whatever he discovered while he was, undercover, because I still believe it's his child. He's been there for a couple of years, prepping what he was about to offer. He discovered information about Uranus.
Oh, so are you referring to what Garling is talking about in the throne room here, or not throne room, the Gorosei's office? That is spicy. Yeah. That is spicy because I also think it's a poneglyph. I think it's the last road poneglyph. I think it was on God Valley.
Well, that'd be interesting. But yeah, so that's why I'm wondering if it's what he discovered. It would be Uranus because it would be the only thing that would get Emu be happy about it. Something like that. So I definitely see poneglyph, but I think this has to be. I don't believe what people are saying is that what he discovered is Shanks and Shamrock. They're definitely his kids. We saw how he looks
Oh
like when
yeah,
he's
100%. He was
look at
on
he's the
job
same.
there. Like, bro shacked up with her while he was there, and then went back to Marie's Wall. Those are his kids.
Yeah.
And I bet
Yeah.
the mom was like, "You can't have them," and he's like, "Well, you got resources. I have the entire world government and the Holy Knights. So I'm coming back for my kids." Like, oh man, no, I like that a lot. I got to talk to Sly about that a little bit more in depth. It's really interesting to think that Uranus may be on the poneglyph. Like I said, I'm probably like 70% sure that a poneglyph is what was on God Valley, and I'm wondering now what information is on there even more so. And the fact that you brought up Uranus
and I went
the
to look
tie
back
to Skypiea, yeah, with Pluton,
No,
which
remember
or,
when Robin
Poseidon.
revealed. Remember what Robin revealed in Fishman Island when she talked about that poneglyph over there. It not only described what Poseidon was as an ancient weapon, but it told that its location is Fishman Island. Similar to how in Alabasta, they gave the location of where Pluton is, Wano.
Wano.
So I wouldn't be shocked that
Wano.
this one tells you.
Ooh.
So this poneglyph would definitely would not show you where Pluton isn't on the island. It's a poneglyph that tells you what Pluton is, what your Uranus is, and on what island it is located in.
Exactly. And to entrust it to a royal family that may have been there since the 20 ancient kingdoms is genius. If that's the case with God Valley's king, like if he's a king just like Alabasta's king, who has been put into place and was there from the original 20 kings, but not part of that 20 kings that allied with them, just like been around since that same time, same family, kind of like Riku's family, you know what I mean? Been around for a long time. Definitely. If the history of God Valley is deep, then I definitely see this being a possibility. So just not a road poneglyph, just a regular poneglyph with information about Uranus. That is wonderful. That is a good take.
And we'll finally know on which island it resides in, which I'm pretty sure the story is what's going to go is the information is never going to be deciphered to the God's Knights, but the Rajabars are going to find out about it, which then they will learn it to stop her. Because remember, when we met the first wing, Robin asked questions about the poneglyph, and he gave no answers really. So it could be at this time, Scopper might have some answers for Robin.
Ooh.
Because I'm gonna say it now. Something that people have talked about because it is connected to Iduso tree. You know how the Iduso tree says there's legends that if there is a fall, something will be released from it, right? What if Uranus is sleeping under the Iduso tree?
I mean, potentially. Well, that goes kind of with what I was saying, which is that Loki's fruit is Uranus. I said this forever ago, remember? And who was sleeping under the tree?
I mean, As for me, it would make sense because of there's been definitely some foreshadowing of the tree being destroyed.
Yeah, definitely.
Once in the past and once of Loki. So because of how it's done with the other few, so it would make sense that what we'll find out in this flashback is the location of Uranus is Elbaf.
Yeah.
Which would explain, because every time that we got that reveal, they were on the island when it was revealed. So when we got revealed that Poseidon is on Fishman Island, is when we were on Fishman Island. When we found out information that Pluton is in Wano, it was when we were in Wano. We got that information. So if we get information this arc, it means that it has to be on this island. Uranus has to be here.
You're right.
Yeah, so
that's if we get the information this arc.
Yeah.
Which is, like I said, I don't know if we're going to God Valley yet. I don't know yet. They seem to be setting up everything leading up to it, in my opinion.
We just need the Garp point of view.
If we get the Garp point of view.
Because it was said he's the one who has the most, so I think they're twists on the Marine side. It isn't how it is.
Yeah. Moving on into the chapter, we do get to see Shaki's ripoff bar as it was on Hachinosu, not Sabayoti. Yeah. Huge line outside. This this whole scene is kind of crazy, right? Rox has stopped pursuing Shaki, and as Linlin says, a woman's intuition can be scary. And then Stussy as well. Stussy says, that's the face of a new father. Basically. Yeah, confirming Blackbeard has been born now. Potentially. I mean, I feel like that's confirmation.
Yeah. And I'm going deeper on it. I think this is who was taken from Hashinosu. Teach. That would explain why Saturn knew so much about him when he barely was known to the world.
So as well. I still think it's Shaki. I think because Teach was born on a completely different island, it wouldn't make sense. Think about how Roger acts about his child. Think about how Dragon acts about his child. It would not make sense for for Rox to have Teach on Hachinosu at all. That's just dangerous. A child is a parent's weakness. But that said, Dragon saying that may have seen that from that could have been what turned him against the government, is them kidnapping a child. You know what I mean? It's a very important lesson. And if you learn it firsthand like that, I could see how it would affect your own relationship with your child. I think, like I said, I still think it's Shaki. I think it'll parallel Marineford. We talked about this a little bit the other day. I think it'll parallel Marineford in a way. Shaki gets taken. All these pirates show up to fight the government to get her back.
So the reason why.
Let me just point this out real fast for chat. The reason why I think that is because it parallels Sabo, Luffy, and Ace pretty well. Sabo's blonde, Gloriosa's strawberry blonde, Tritoma, black hair, Shaki black hair. They're all three sworn sisters, as explained in, I think it was like 2 chapters ago. Just like Sabo, Ace, and Luffy. So, but yeah, sorry, Cube, go ahead.
Because of, obviously, he's the head of Hashinosu, right? Yeah. Like I was gonna say, I looked into it. They didn't say they stole something from Hashinosu. They just said they took the valuable treasure, the crown jewel of Hashinosu. So it's also that the Hashinosu, So that's what it means that the son of the person who leads Hashinosu could also fit with it. That's why. Because the problem I have with the Shaki situation is they have to explain the prep on why Shaki being taken would have all the rocks wanted to undo it. Because I do agree that the male rocks have fallen for her and the male pirates, but why would all the other ones? And if you look back, Big Mom, Stussy, and Gloriosa were very determined to go on the other. Gloriosa makes sense. It's her sister.
Yeah.
But why would Big Mom? It's the energy they had at the beginning when they're like gaslighting each other.
Think about
it. I'll get it. So
pirates have respect for one kind of establishment and one kind of establishment alone on most islands. The bar. You know what I mean? Like, think about Shanks and his crew and how he treated the bar. Even Blackbeard, how did he treat the bartender on Jaya? With the utmost respect. I think Big Mom probably felt the same way. Might not like Shaki as a person, but that's her bartender, and she's gonna treat her with respect, kind of thing.
So I was gonna bring up is in this arc they've talked about children of destiny.
Yeah.
Children's of destiny, childs of destiny. So more than one. So if there's a destiny about thing, what if there's a hope for Xebex? It's not about him. It's about his son. Just like in the Bible, when Jesus is chosen, it's about it. So everyone wants to be good with the Son of God. So I'm wondering if this could explain if there's more about the child. Like let's say that Xebex said something, and they all know about that importance. Think about it. Then later on, Whitebeard does the same thing with Ace, where everyone sees Ace as their new as a bannerman of this new generation. So that's why I could see a bit more than Shaki, because Shaki they need a bit of prep work to explain why everyone are dropping everything to save Shaki. There needs to be more than just like for Ace it made sense because he was the son of the leader of Whitebeard, and it's a taboo. Momo makes sense why people were ready to go to unalive people in the roof piece, because he was the lost child of the Kozuki, the heir, the chosen one. So that's why for me Shaki there needs to be that trope with it, because I have no problem with it, but I've been hearing the critics, and it is true that If it's just for a woman, it's a big thing to explain all of that. I can understand maybe Roger, Scopper, and Rayleigh and
Is
some
it
of the
though?
rocks, but not.
Or is it setting up a theory that the community has had for years? A parallel to Emu, Lily, and Joy Boy. That is exactly what that sets up. If it is Shocky, it sets up completely that parallel from the Void Century that everyone has hypothesized. Hold on one second. The stream. Hold on one second. The stream just dropped. We are back. Okay, that was weird.
Okay. Yeah.
We didn't have any dropped frames
Yeah.
or anything. It just disconnected.
Yeah, that's
Odd.
weird.
We're back. No,
Yeah.
I see your point, but you see mine as well, right?
Yeah,
And-
no, I said, like
Yeah.
I said, I don't disagree with your point. I'm just giving like what I need to. Like I said, I'm not a big hater on it. It's just there needs a bit more stuff. But other than that, I can see what you're saying. Unless it is that, because the whole child of prophecy with Teach, because they've been talking ever since Marineford that he is more than just born different. Like there's a
It's
special
not him.
lineage. There's it's a destiny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's
a
not
destiny
him.
as well.
You know what I mean? What
Oh,
did
yeah.
Whitebeard say?
Yeah,
to
yeah.
him? It's not you, Teach. Just like I think
Yeah.
Roger said that to Shakes. I 100% think Roger said that to Shakes. I think that's why
Yeah.
Shakes cried. Like, but
yeah, so my thing, but this is my thing. It doesn't need to be them. If people believe it's them, you know what I mean?
yeah, of course.
That's all they. So maybe
They'll
back
back
then, they knew that there was something about a child maybe, and it's Xebex's child. People who know Xebex know who he is. He is him. So they assume we have to save that child. So that's why the Blackbeard stuff
Yeah.
can make sense because of who his father is. The Shaki is just. I would agree on what you're saying. It needs just one panel where it explains something about the Kuja tribe. Like there's some sort of prophecy with them, which that would explain like there's something more than she's just a woman.
I don't think we need that though, if I'm being honest. Because like I'm saying, she's nothing to the world government besides a Kuja pirate, a former Kuja empress. What better prize to give away than this is a former Kuja empress who's the people you have to think the Kuja tribe, their wanted posters as confirmed are sold like trading cards. You know what I mean? Like they are very popular. That in and of itself would be a prized wife for any celestial dragon. There's the reason for the government. And then Roger and Rox, it's not about a woman. It's Shocky. It's their bartender. It's their friend. It's someone they came across multiple times on the sea. It's the same respect that the Whitebeard pirates gave to Ace. Even, like, obviously, he's part of their crew, but think about the people who are just friends with Whitebeard. He called them and they just came. You know what I mean? I think...
It's because of the speech. Again, if you go read back the speech, every Rocks pirate that we're about to jump, they talk about how this thing that they're going to get back is going to make them who they're supposed to become. That's my problem, is that there's definitely something more. So I want to understand why every Rocks pirates are saying that.
Are you
There's
talking about
some
in
of them,
the
it makes
initial God Valley flashback?
Yes, every Rocks talk about whatever they have to get back. That's my whole thing. Like I said, for the rest of them, it would explain why. Kaido and Big Mom, obviously they're ready for the Delphos. That's why I feel like there's more to it than just Shaki was taken. That's my point. And I just want that context. Because then I agree 100% with you. It's just for me, then it would be not lazy writing, but it would not be in-depth compared to other people, to other things. Before, we get like an explanation on, like when we saw for Ace, in one panel, in the manga, when they did Ace's Why the People Came, for some of them you realize one part they're like a son for them. For Squad, it was like, he sees Ace like a brother. But we got those quick moments. If we could just get one panel of that, okay, now it makes sense why they all want Shaki. They all have that crazy connection to Shaki.
Yeah.
But right now it's not very clear. That's my only problem.
Yeah.
Because I do agree with you. I do agree with you. It's just, I'm not being a hater.
No, of course not. But like I said, I just don't know about Teach. It doesn't feel right to me almost. Like, with Buggy, everyone just jumped on that because Crown Jewel, Clown Jewel, like, that was the meme, right? I don't think there's been any indication that a child was taken, right? And the whole Child of Destiny thing, I mean, I don't know. You know how I feel about that. I feel like with the way they said it, it's almost like being like, you were a prodigal son. Like, you were someone who was, coming up to be the next big thing. But let's move on past the rock stuff. And talk about this clash between Harold and Rox. Uh, I love my favorite part of this, actually, if I'm honest, is oh, did I miss it? No, it's got to be here somewhere. The little interactions we see between I think it's later. I'm thinking about the Loki part with
Yeah,
Ida.
I'm gonna
It's
bring.
later.
I'm gonna bring up something that people are so shocked. Let's back to
Mhm.
Lucas. So a lot of people were very happy and shocked that Big Mom and Roger were very like chill. A reminder to everyone in the community: when Roger said that he got the Rotonga from Big Mom, he didn't say Big Mom. He called her Linden, meaning that Big Mom is that comfortable with Roger. So for me, it does just pushes on the thing that it's just not Kaido who's a big fan of Roger. Whitebeard's his best friend. I think Big Mom also had a great appreciation for Roger. Like she
Yeah.
liked him.
Which interestingly enough, also during that what we just talked about, Whitebeard straight up was like, I don't like these guys. They're too loud. Get them out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on. Harold and Rock's clash. And this is an insane double page spread right here, if I'm being honest. I'm looking at it right now, and oh my goodness. But Rox, if I'm being honest, I think he brings up valid points. That Harold's letting the government get into, which I don't think Harold's completely. He's not dumb, right? He knows what the government's doing. But he wants to let his people become part of the wider society of the world, and I think it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. If I'm being honest with all of this, I think the thing that really struck out the most to me is how emotional Rox was. You know what I mean? He's very upset about this.
But he's a friend.
Exactly. Yeah. I love the line too. I'm just now reading it for the first time in the officials. That our history of violence from when we called ourselves warriors is nothing but a shackle that weighs Elbaf down. Now that we seek the way of peace. Oof, what powerful words, man.
Yeah.
It is really, really well done. I also like the little bit of a flashback within. Once again, a flashback within a flashback within a flashback. We're doing Inception right now.
Yeah. Elception.
Yeah. Elbafception.
Yeah.
That king, like, you know what I mean? Like, fear is not so easily wiped clean from the nation's mind. Like, what a bar. But it's the sentiment of the world. You know what I mean? So God Valley was what, 38 years ago, right?
Yep.
Oh, wait. Before we get to the final page of the chapter, I see what I wanted to talk about real quick. The Ida is definitely, that's her name, right? Ida?
Yep.
Yeah, she is definitely Mosa in my head.
Oh yeah. For me,
The way, yeah, we accepted it forever ago, I know. But the way she's like, you want to eat juice? And he's like, shut up, you old hag. Yeah. Like, it's just like, that's definitely Mosa in my head completely.
Yeah.
But yeah, that brings us to the last page of the chapter. Is this chapter really short? Why do I feel like this? It is. It's 15 pages. Sadness. We come upon God Valley in the West Blue. In the birth of Shanks and Shamrock.
Yeah. It's also like this. People know this right now. What's happening right now with the Roger Pirates? If people are wondering, it's also the same year that the Roger Pirates are in Lodestar, and if I find out that it's not the Father Island, and the Mads have just discovered Lineage Factor.
Yep.
That's where we are in the story as well. So it's like a big year.
Yeah, very big year in history for the One Piece world.
There's something that bothers me.
Interesting, Bushido. Interesting indeed.
Wait, let me see what he wrote.
He said,
always cooking,
I
so.
think the mother is going to be based off Brigid from Irish mythology.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I didn't. I mean, where he's from, so he knows that culture better. Okay, I see. But I was gonna say, I think that we're supposed to. There's a reason why we're not seeing the face of the mother.
Yeah, I think so as well.
You know my theory about what happened to Kuma's mother. That comment of she was sent to heaven. I think that's how they make people into celestial dragons. So it could be that
What
we've
do you
seen
mean?
her face maybe somewhere.
I think it's Gunko.
What do you mean, Gonko? She's not from God Valley.
Do we know where she's from?
But remember, she was in the flashback with Xebec when he saw Emu like 10 years prior to that. She was already a servant for Emu.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind. Damn.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was my leading
And,
thought process when I first saw her, though, because the hair. I was like, that might be Gunko.
yeah.
And because you
No,
like I
no,
told you,
okay.
I think Brooke was from. I thought Brooke was from God Valley. Which I mean, still could
No,
be,
no.
but if Gunko was already with Emu, I doubt that is the
Yeah,
case now.
remember last time Brooke saw her, he was still a human. So that would have been
Yeah,
like
and she was a
60
child.
years. Yeah, 60
Mhm.
years before that.
Oh
At
yeah,
least,
oh
so,
yeah.
yeah, but
True,
I've been
true,
wondering
true.
is something that they've been showing recently a lot, and it's how they've been taking. We never know how they have wives and stuff like that, but they're showing a lot of taking.
Mhm.
So, and because that comet of heaven, which I think that's where they sent Kuma's mom, it really can completely wiped out like Gonko, like Koala, how Koala was found, make them vacant so that you could basically rebuild them. So
Yeah.
I've been wondering if the reason why they're hiding Shanks's mother's face is because we can recognize it. There's another thing, and I think you've heard my take on it, which I do believe. I don't think that Shanks is her father, but I think there's either a lineage connection, or there's something very similar. How Shamrock and Shanks, if you actually look, and Shanks and Nami's story with Luffy is an inversion to one another.
Yeah.
Whatever Shanks does to Luffy, Nami learns it from Luffy, which is almost interesting enough. Shanks and both Luffy puts a straw on Nami's head. The first person who put the straw on Luffy's head was Shanks.
Yeah.
Nami's obsessed with treasure chests. Shanks is found in treasure chest. Nami was found in Oakwood Kingdom, backwards is Tokyo. Shanks' territory is Elba, backwards is Fable. It like constantly, and then if you look at Shamrock and Shanks when they're like in killer mode, right?
Mhm.
It's the same face that Nami had in Arnold Park when she was just so upset, like basically, on her evil era when she betrayed
Yeah.
the Straw Hats, like that glazy look. So I wouldn't be shocked. Again, I'm not saying that she's a sibling or the daughter of Shanks or Shamrock, but more like it could be a lineage or culture thing. And so I'm wondering if what if the woman will look very similar to Nami as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I kind of realized it. It's like, and for people saying, well, there's nothing. Well, interesting enough, around the same time that Nami was born, Shanks was in East Blue.
Yeah.
When she was 1 year old, he was in East Blue to get Yasuo. And
So wait,
Village
do you
was the
think
next door.
Shanks is Nami's dad? Is that
I
what you're
don't.
saying?
I said it's either that, but I don't like this because it's lately it's just the go-to move. It could be because
Yeah.
of their culture. They're from the similar culture, Maybe a
Mhm.
form of celestial dragon lineage or from the mother side, those kind of stuff, It doesn't
I see what
necessarily
you're saying.
you know what I mean? So you know how Oda now does that because young kid Frankie looks just like adult kid, but that doesn't mean that they're brothers. More like they're in the same pathways or there's some similar stuff.
Yeah,
So
they have a
that's as well.
similar interest, a similar type of will,
Yeah,
something
but there's
of that
yeah,
effect.
yeah, and
Both are
like I said,
mechanical
there's
men,
nothing.
basically. Like
Both were living in a junkyard at that time in their life. Kid as an adult.
exactly. They were junk
Yeah, so
kids.
that but like I said, but if you actually look in details on the Nami thing, and the bar scene where Shanks teaches Luffy the lesson, who is the person who questions it, and Luffy shows that he learned the lesson. He does it to Nami.
Yeah,
It's constantly the
100%.
mirror of. So like the One Piece Red storyline with his
But
daughter
Uta.
Uta.
Yeah.
The beginning of the Elegia Kingdom event is very similar to what happened to Oakwood Kingdom.
Yeah. Well, we don't know what happened.
But what we know is that we know that there was a massive battle between Marines and pirates, and almost left everything decimated. Only a very few survived. That's what happened to Elegia.
That is
Just
exactly
the
what happened
added
to
thing
Allegia.
Yeah, but they blamed it on Shanks. That was the added thing. So that's what I
Do you
say.
think
It doesn't seem that she's the daughter again, but it's interesting.
what pirate crew do you think got away caught? Just while we're here, what pirate crew do you think got away caught? Do you think we've seen them?
Well, oh yeah, I'm convinced of it because of stuff. I believe this is the same event where Crocodile had his defeat by Whitebeard.
Ooh.
20 around 20 years ago, a certain event happened in which Crocodile took a huge defeat from the Whitebeard pirates.
Yep.
It's also the same time where Shanks, who was also in East Blue around that time, had that run-in with Blackbeard, because it would be between Roger Execution, where he had no scar, and Luffy's and when we see the flashback when they get Luffy's fruit, he has the scar. So during those 10 years, the fruit was between Roger Execution and the fruit being taken by Shanks. He had the scar, and Blackbeard also says that 20 years ago, when he was with Whitebeard Pirates, he came to a conclusion with the Yami.
Yeah,
it has to be the same event, and it makes you think, what if it's Orchid Kingdom on the way they've been writing it?
Mm-hmm. That would be very interesting.
And Nami was one of the few Straw Hats who was with Luffy when there was that first scene with Blackbeard.
Yeah.
Oda chooses his characters for a reason.
Very specifically. Like, there's a reason Frankie saw the mural. There's a reason for everything.
Like how the Marine... just like how Marineford was a recent one, the older one was God Valley. I think the intermediate story event that group all those two could be Occult Kingdom.
Yeah, I think so as well. That makes sense. That makes sense. To get back to the chapter, is there anything else you wanted to discuss, or are you ready for final thoughts, brother?
Honestly, it's a really good chapter. I am still curious on the God Valley incident. I do think we're going to get it, but I think it's going to be maybe similar to... I like to compare it to Dressrosa, right? Except Dressrosa was in a much faster pace. We first got the beginning of that because it's a flashback from 3 point of view. We get the lead up with Law, with the first Doflamingo, where we see the rise of the pirate crew. We have that with Zebex. Then we have with a child who basically the only way to survive is to eat the devil fruit. You have that with Kuma and Law.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the hero. Then you get the real point of view of what happened on that fateful day by Kiro's the hero of Dressrosa. And Sengoku said the one person who knows the most about what happened on that fateful day was the hero of the Marines, Garp. So that's why I feel like they need still to be that Garp storyline. Right now he's with Pudding. So, but I don't also see, because I spoke to Sly yesterday, in which he explained to me why he thinks it would maybe be a bad move, is that it's true that it's been 200, for people who don't forgotten, the God Valley flashback was first introduced in 958, chapter 958, so 200 chapters ago. It is that for 200 chapters, we've been having different comments about God Valley or the rocks. So how long does it become too much of teasing? So I do feel like we're going to get something about God Valley, but he's going to keep something out of it.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get the full thing here. Like I said, I think if we get anything from God Valley, it'll be Rocks in them arriving at God Valley right before all the stuff we saw on Egghead, and then we'll get the last parts of God Valley when we get Garp's memories, because Blackbeard has every reason to want to take Garp's memories, because he has the memo for right there. He doesn't need to ask Garp what happened on God Valley. He can see what happened on God Valley.
And the one thing...
It just makes too much sense.
And the one thing I was going to add... Yeah, and the one thing I'm going to add, that's why I still think we're going to get God Valley. We're getting from the point of view of Loki and Harold, right?
Exactly.
The last thing the red narrator said, and for the time being, they met no longer until the day of that fateful incident, which tells me that Harold had to be at God Valley.
Yeah.
It had to be talked about God Valley. So we will get something, just not the full scale, like we're talking about.
Yeah, I think I disagree with you. I don't think Harold went to God Valley because of him trying to get into the good graces of the world government. I don't think he would have gone.
I mean, think about this, right? So the last time that this is the before last time, they never met each other until that fateful incident, right?
Yeah,
we're 40 to 39 years ago. Xebex is said to have disappeared a year later on. So for me, is unless if Xebex has he faked his unalivement, and he's still kicking, and he was there 14 years ago. Until then, for me, it has to be the God Valley incident.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? That's why my problem is he could. I still say because of what I said, the referee, he just suddenly disappeared. Xebec could still be kicking, Madara style, like in Naruto. You know, he's very weakened, but he survived. You know, he's very weakened and he survived. But that's the only way I could see it. You see what I mean? Like because of that, on that fateful incident, it would have mean that Harold, to some shape or form, had gone there. Don't know why, but
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know, brother. I really don't.
you see what I mean? But you see what I mean? Like because they haven't met until that fateful incident. One incident it is because he's got 1 or 2 years left, Xebex, before he gets his big defeat.
Yeah. That makes sense. Now that you're saying
You
it.
see that
Now I'm seeing the text now that you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like
Till the
what
day of that
other
fateful incident. Yeah. What other
Yeah,
incident could it be? Yeah.
But again, there is that possibility that he survived because of he did the same thing at the reverie. He just disappeared at the reverie.
Yeah.
So what tells you that he didn't do the same thing at God Valley? Like think of the Straw Hats in Saboti. They were all wiped out. In a way, they didn't lie. They were wiped out physically, but they were not completely gone. They were just sent elsewhere. It could be the same thing with Xebex. There's that possibility.
Yeah,
Or I don't know if you didn't hear the crazy theory. People believe that someone don't know how an ability was used on Xebex and he was reverted back to a baby and basically teaches the Xebex, but he doesn't know. This is for me the craziest one.
That is the wildest thing I've ever heard in my life, I think. Besides the ancient kingdom looking like a phallus, but anyways,
yeah.
No, so I don't know. I feel like I would not like Xebec to still be alive, if I'm being honest. I really would not.
I need to.
Yeah. Maybe sharing a body with Teach, I'm fine with that. That's fine. But for his physical body to still be alive, I don't know if I would want that in the story.
It's not even that. Is that why would he stay dormant? Even I feel like he would have done something more. He would have found a loophole or something. He came back as a zombie or something like that by now. Like if it was like 4 or 5 years ago, I can understand he's very weak and stuff like that. But 38 years,
no,
dude has
he would have made a move before.
He's too much of an alpha. Yeah, he's too much of an alpha.
Exactly.
To stay dormant for 38 years. Yeah.
He's not, which is why his son stayed dormant for so long, is because he learned from the mistakes of his father, as we all assume. So what's your rating for this chapter, brother? What are you thinking?
Oof. For me, honestly, it's I think a 7 out of 10. A lot of what's called
setup,
build up. Yeah, setup and build ups. But like I said, I have more questions. Like I always like when you get those kind of before you get to a major event and a flashback. Usually, the last few chapters before you reach there, you have less questions. It becomes more clear. It's still a bit weird, like we talked with our whole exchange about what was taken from Hashinosu was a Chaki, was a Blackbeard. You know what I mean? There's still the room for that thing. So that's why for me it's a 7. There's still more stuff I need to know.
Yeah, see, I'm at the same place. I was thinking like 6.5 when I first read it. Now that I'm reading it and there's a little bit of spice there, right? Like you said, they're really building things up. I'm getting flashback fatigue really bad right now. Like I'm ready to get back to what's going on in Elbath. But at the same time, like what they're cooking is so heat. Like I don't mind it, but I am ready to get back to the main story a bit.
And I don't think we'll get anytime soon. Don't forget, they've been hyping up being the arc about everything that happened between 20 to 14 years ago.
Yeah.
So we're not even getting this.
We don't even know how Harold died exactly yet. Like, we kind of know. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. So, realistically, 7 out of 10. But yeah, it's getting to me. Being in the flashback is getting to me. Like, it feels like we're getting a lot of setup chapters. Like, at first we were getting a lot of reveals and stuff like that, but like the last chapter felt like a lot of setup. This chapter felt like a lot of setup. And I'm ready to see some payoff with it.
And the lack of Kaido is what bothers me as well.
Well, he was a child. He wouldn't be drinking.
No. But I mean, no. He was 21.
Yeah, I know.
The Godfather's done. Yeah. So he would have been okay. But it's more like we got such a lackluster flashback for Kaido. We know that there was so much stuff he could reveal. The Becks, all the rocks parts, stuff like that. Same thing with Queen. We didn't know Vegapunk, so it makes sense. Or we're definitely going to get a mad backstory in the future at one point when we get to it. But because of how he did it with Kaido, and he's just showing Kaido to be there, it feels like this. We're not even in the focus of the flashback. This is not what's important. It's further. It's further on down the story. So yeah. But yeah, it was still a great chapter.
Yeah, like I said, I never dislike One Piece chapter. I don't think there's ever been a One Piece chapter where I've been upset while reading it or anything like in a bad way. There's been things that frustrate me and things like being in this flashback right now. It's a lot of setup at the moment, which, like I said, it's only been like the past 2 chapters that I felt this way. If he does it a third time, I'm gonna be like, Oda, what are you doing, my boy? But he's dropping enough little spice in there so that you're just like, fine, okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, but I am ready to see what's going down, and seeing more of God Valley seems to be in the cards for next chapter. Yeah. With that, I think we're gonna call it here, right, Cube?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. We have been the Eternal Dawn. We love you all. Thank you so much for joining us today. We had a little bit more of a chiller chapter discussion this week. Like I said, two members of the crew could not be here. A lot of stuff going on in personal lives. We love them both. Go to Shocky's ripoff bar. See what the rage is, boys. No. But yeah, it's been a blast kicking with you, brother, as always. Thank you, chat, for being here. Yeah, Cube, you wanna take us away?
Yeah, we'll see you all in the next sunrise.
Sir, yes, sir. Oh, maybe. Maybe.